Hello everyone, I'm Elwirfy, and today I wanted to make a video talking about why Guy Fieri has pretty much the easiest job on the planet. Now, I know a lot of people say, oh, there's plenty of YouTubers or content creators who pretty much do nothing and are able to be super famous, but I don't think anyone has done nothing as much as Guy Fieri on his classic show, Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. I know it's a weird topic, right? But just hear me out. When I go to work, I pretty much see this show on every single day. There's like a TV in the office, and every time I watch his show, he essentially says nothing bad, like at all. And it's weird because you would think that, he's a chef, he's trying to promote a business, but you don't hear like even one negative thing about the business. And usually we say negative things in reviews to kind of make it sound more humble, to make it sound like, there's something like no one's perfect, to humanize it. But instead, he just does nothing but advertise. His entire show is pretty much just advertising. I mean, maybe I'm late to the party on this. Maybe you guys already knew that. But it seems really weird that you'd be wanting to make a show where you do nothing but say good things about restaurants, but then he doesn't even cook in the show. He essentially just stands there. He's like, "Oh, I see you added some pepper in there. Oh, look at that. I see you added some salt." It's like, what are you doing, dude? You're just standing there watching another. You know what I mean? Like, Guy Fieri doesn't add anything to his show. It's just so weird that like he has a show because he has other shows, right? Like the shopping cart one and the one where there's like a game show. Like I get it. He's like a food kind of diet nice version of Gordon Ramsay, except he doesn't freaking cook. I mean, like, does Guy Fieri even like he eats a lot of food and he has a good palate, I'm sure, but he doesn't seem to cook anything. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm too young. I was born in '97, but shoot, I don't remember any shows about him just cooking that have been more popular than the shows where he's just advertising and making people look good, which is just weird, right? Like, you look at Kitchen Nightmares, right? Gordon Ramsay goes in, yes, it's formulaic, yes, there's other problems with the show, but at the very least, Gordon's willing to be honest about what makes the restaurant bad. And Gordon Ramsay has even given nice compliments to places or even dishes that are particularly good. But Guy Fieri, he just says everything's good. And it seems that apparently, as I've been doing my research, that these restaurants are paying to be on the show so that way they can get advertising for their business. So really, diners, drive-ins, and dives are essentially just ads. That's it. It's just for ads. But it's popular. And I wonder if maybe, if you think about the China video I made earlier about how American culture probably won't really like having a show where we just get advertised to, it just hit me. This show, Guy Fieri's Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, straight up, is that. It's just advertising, right? There's nothing critical about any of the restaurants that are on the show. Every single one, it's like, hey, go to this location and check out this owner. He's pretty cool. And look at the patrons. They all say good things. And then they only show clips of patrons saying good things because obviously no one would ever say anything negative about a local small business. So, I don't know. It's just weird that we have this culture now of that I guess has been around a while. I didn't even notice it until I did my China video, that I realized that we actually already have shows that are pretty much nothing but just advertising to us that we actually like, and it's weird because why do we like that? It doesn't make sense, right? Like if I want to watch a show about food, I'd like to know if there's anything wrong with the place, even if it's mostly good. Maybe like everything's good on the menu, but maybe don't try the onion rings, Like, there's no restaurant that's perfect, and they make it out to be like, oh, this restaurant's so cool, this restaurant is so chic, and I'm like, what are you doing? Obviously, the whole restaurant isn't perfect. I mean, it's a small business. There's going to be bad items on the menu. Everyone knows that, and no one's hating on the restaurant for that fact, but like, there's no way every single menu item is good. And like how they advertise it, they do the thing where they make the food look extra good, and I'm thinking, I don't know if it's staged or not because his whole show's about advertising. So now when I see the food, I feel like I don't know. And anytime they show the customers eating the food, it feels like maybe the food's been messed with or something, or like they cut away from the actual shot of them picking up the food on the nice looking plate to them actually eating it. It's really weird, and I really do want to be proven wrong. I hope that I've been looking around. I can't find any negative episodes. Is there a single negative thing that Guy Fieri has ever said about any of the restaurants on his show? Like, I don't know. I just can't find it. And I'd love to be proven wrong. Honestly, please comment links to like videos of him saying something bad about a restaurant in Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, because I can't find it. I genuinely don't know where it is. And it's weird, right? Because think about it. If this is acceptable, right? If we say, oh, Guy Fieri's not doing anything wrong, he's harmless, and we just like go with it. Fine, whatever. He's not actually hurting anything. There's nothing actually wrong with his show. That's not the point. the point is that if this is acceptable, then where do we go from here? Are we saying that we should have more shows where you can essentially just advertise, but in a sneaky way? It's weird, right? Like, why would you want to be shown a show where you're essentially just being advertised to, talked down to, heck, even being told, hey, look, I know you never heard of this place before in some boat out, some like backwater town that you've never heard of, just come on in and try it out. And I'm like, I don't know, I'm not driving all the way to Missouri to eat some food. I'm like, I live on the West Coast, I'm not going to do that, you know what I mean? Like, it's weird. He's like, come on, get a plane, train, automobile, whatever you need to do to get over here to eat this food. And then he does it, like, in the episode, he goes to, like, 4 different places. And I'm like, well, I can't go to all these places. And, I noticed he never really shows the menu. He never really shows how expensive anything is. Because guess what? Small business food is expensive, especially because eating out in general is expensive. And it's really harmful on low-income families. And, think about it. If you're a low-income family and you want to take your family out to a nice meal and, you want to spend money because you're not very good at cooking, you might say, hey, look, here's a small business promoted by Guy Fieri, and hey, look, maybe we should trust him because he's a chef. I don't think he's a chef, but even if he is, he doesn't really show it very much. So, and it's weird, right? So you could trick people into spending more money than they want to because small businesses are expensive. That's why it's important to cook at home, and make sure you have a well-balanced meal. And you don't know what these small businesses are doing for the ingredients. Every small business is different. So you want to be really, really careful to make sure that, you're going to get the best food for your buck. And I just don't think every single small business he promotes is going to do that. In fact, I'm willing to bet most small businesses he promotes either will go out of business or likely just aren't really worth it to go to because he doesn't say anything bad. And if somebody is endorsing a product and they say nothing bad at all, then that tells me they probably don't actually really know anything about the product. It tells me they're probably just kind of there, just cuz. But why would we allow that, right? Like if I were to do a review, right, on some sort of product, like say a water company endorses me, my dream, right? I'd love to be endorsed by a water company. But if the water has like a dumb looking bottle, I'm going to say it, you know what I mean? Even if the water's great and it's good, good quality, low price, but if the bottle looks like a frickin' child made it, I'm going to let them know, Now, if there's genuinely nothing wrong with it, that's fine. And I'm sure there are some restaurants that are perfectly fine and that there's nothing actually wrong with them. But the thing is, with how many restaurants Guy Fieri reviews, there's no way every single one of them has nothing wrong with it. And it's the same format, right? I mean, granted, network television, that's how they do it. They have a formulaic process where they're like, oh, let's talk about the owner. Oh, let's look at the location and how great it is. Hey, let's watch him make a single dish off of his large menu. And what's the theme of this? How did you get inspired? All that. And then, oh, let's watch the customers eat the food, but not actually show them put it in their mouth directly when you cut away from the nice looking shot of it on just a table. It's weird, right? Like if you have a nice looking thing of food on the table, I don't see them hand it to the customer for the customer to eat. The customer's eating their own already made food that I'm willing to bet, if you took a closer look, looks nothing like the display food that they have for the show. It's weird. And I don't know why we're letting them get away with it. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to stir up anything, right? I mean, it's a harmless show, right? And besides, TV's dying anyways. I made a video about that. So it's not really like it's a threat or anything. I just think it's weird that if there's a point in our culture where the mainstream is okay with having a show about just advertising to you constantly, then who's to say we couldn't have eventually a time when streamers are just making content to just advertise to people, to trick people into getting their money? It's just weird, right? I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm crazy for even talking about it. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I think it's really weird. I always try and promote energy of like, hey, if you're going to be a content creator, you want to do it for fun, you want to have a good time, support other small content creators when you can, talk about things you want to talk about and just be yourself. And, personally, I don't, unless it's water, I don't plan on getting sponsored by anybody because, one, I don't need NordVPN. I don't need Audible. I don't need, you know what I mean? Like, I don't need Squarespace. Like, I don't need any of these stupid advertising companies because they have no effect on my life at all, and I'm never going to buy them at all. Like, you see an advertisement in a YouTube video or something, like, embedded in with the creators doing it. I'm thinking, oh my God, look, I know I need to get money, but I hope nobody's buying this shit, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Like, do you guys buy things when the YouTuber advertises it? I know, like, the corporate ads, maybe a good amount of people click on because they're susceptible and they don't understand. But when the YouTuber itself advertises and you have to leave the video to do it, like, you can't just click on the video, you leave the video. Do people do that? I don't. So, and shoot, I use YouTube Premium because, I need it for editing and whatnot. So I don't even see the ads anymore. I only see ads when it's inside of the YouTube video. So what do you guys think? I'm like genuinely curious, like how you guys feel about being advertised to constantly. Anyway, guys, I'm Elwirfy, and I'll definitely be seeing you guys next time. Take care, everyone.